Hello again. Today I'm going to be taking a look at one of the most popular books that's out on the market today, and that is American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I have a copy of the book here that's kind of a bit of an interesting copy, so I thought right now would probably be a good time to do a short video to take a look at this particular copy of the book. As I said, this is one of the most popular books on the market right now. A lot of that has to do with the success of Star's new television show, American Gods, which is of course based on the book by Neil Gaiman. The show's doing really well, so I thought it'd be a good time to take a look at this particular copy. Now, I should notate this is not a first edition of the book, and the other videos that I've done so far are taking a look at first editions. This is the first limited edition printing of the book. The actual book was printed 2 years earlier in 2001. Hill House printed this particular copy in 2003. What makes this book special? There's a couple different things, but primarily the most notable thing that's special about this book is this one includes all of the author's preferred text that was not included in the original printing of the book in 2001. Now, when Neil had originally written the book, he had an idea to make the book, I think, a lot larger than it ended up being when it was finally printed. He worked really closely with his editor, who took a look at the original drafts and basically thought that it was too big, it was too messy, and that they needed to trim out a lot of the writing that was in the book. Well, obviously the book did really well, and so when it came time to do a special limited edition, Neil wanted to go back and include some of that content that had been cut out from the original drafts. So that's where this book came into place, and it includes an additional 12,000 words that were added into the book, and it really became the definitive text for the book. The 10th anniversary of edition that came out a few years back, that one was based on the exact same text as this one. There has been some other more recent versions that have come out now that have fixed a few kind of errors from the text that was added in this particular edition. But this was really the first copy that came out that included a lot of the additional story in it. So that's one of the things that makes this particular copy special. Taking a look at this book itself, it comes in a really nice slipcase here. It's in a mauve Japanese silk, so it's a bit different. It's very high class, very high end, and it goes all the way around, and it has a die-cut cutout window here on the front that gives a little bit of a glimpse to the cover of the book itself, and you can see some of the kind of that iconic lightning coming down there on the front. You can see here I have part of there's a silver silk ribbon coming out of the side here. It's a bookmark. On the side here, you'll notice there's a pasted in is on the spine, which includes the title's name, the publisher, Hill House, and the description of the book. So it's kind of surprising, I think, at first glance when you actually see on here that it has sort of a paper pasted in onto the silk, which seems a bit different. You would expect it to be some sort of like gold foil or something along those lines, but actually the publisher had quite a bit of difficulty getting anything to really imprint properly on this silk text. They had to end up going with the paper. So I'm going to try to now get this book out of here, and it's very snug in the box here. You have to be careful because a lot of these boxes that are very tight like this, you don't want to pull too hard on there because the slipcase is designed to protect the book. But when it's very snug like that, if you get aggressive with it, it can lead to, obviously, you damaging the book. I've got this little plastic cover here on the front. So here's a look at the book itself. You can see there on the front. It's similar to the spine in that this is a paper that has been pasted in on the side there. The book itself, it's a very heavy, very nicely put together book. It's very hardy. The paper quality is really nice. The ink has been printed with black and purple, and it creates this very readable text here. And it's just an absolutely gorgeous copy, and it's very readable. The book itself, this particular collector's edition, they included a paperback as well, so that if you actually wanted to read all of the additional content that was available in the book, you could read the paperback, so you wouldn't put any additional wear or tear on this collector's edition here. You can see the inside has these sort of purple end papers that kind of match the overall color theme from the book. One of the things that also makes these copies special is that all of them were signed and numbered. The edition size in this case was 750 numbered copies, and then there was 52 signed and lettered copies. So this is one of the numbered copies. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but it's been signed by Neil, and this is number 410. So each of these copies are signed and numbered, which is very special. I'll take a look at some of these pages as well, just so you can get a look at that. It's a very, very lovely book. Very, very well put together copy. The lettered copies are a little bit harder to find. You don't really find as many of those. In terms of what was different about the lettered copy versus these numbered copies, there really wasn't much. In terms of the book itself, the book was exactly the same, but obviously with the signature, instead of it being numbered, it was lettered. The big difference, however, came in that this box that was included here with it came inside a larger protective box as well. That was very, very large and very, very heavy. It came in a polished rosewood box that this particular slipcase would slide out of, and then on the front of it was a black marble door that would open up to reveal this book inside that you would pull out. So the most unique thing about the lettered edition is really actually just the box that it comes in. Now, when this book was originally published back in 2003, these numbered copies here sold for $200 was the retail price for the book, and the lettered copies sold for $900. So it was a big jump up in price, and a lot of those costs really had to do with the box itself, which was, like I said, it was a very large box. I believe it weighed about 15 pounds just for the box. Some people at the time especially thought that wasn't a really great deal because of the fact that there wasn't much else special about the book itself. And then in some ways, while the book itself, as I said, is very nice, there are some sort of things that are kind of throw you off. Like I said, the fact that it's sort of the laid-in papers here. There's no, if you notice, there's no gilt on the spines or anything like that. It is, like I said, this silk around it on the outside. It's absolutely gorgeous looking, and it feels great, and it's obviously very well put together. But I think for some people, it just felt like that was a lot of money for this particular copy of the book, and especially for spending an extra $700 for really just a box. And that box was very fragile too. It's not uncommon to have damage on the box by the time you arrived it, because the marble could crack, the rosewood could get cracks in it or lines in it, and the publisher was really good about actually replacing those lettered copies that were damaged, but it is worth noting that those were very fragile. Now, for the people that actually did shell out some of the money for those copies, they have gotten quite a bit more valuable now since their original price. There's just a handful of them that are available, but they typically sell for now thousands of dollars. So even though it's really only been, 15 or so years since they were printed, the value of them has risen fairly exponentially. And these copies here, as I said, that went for about $200. Now it's more common to find these in the $400, $500, even $600 or $700 range, whether or not they're actually getting those prices. But that is what a lot of these copies are selling at. And they're, just because the smaller run size, like I said, it's about 750 of the numbered copies, there's not a ton of them actually for sale in a lot of online booksellers. You're going to have a fairly limited number if you are looking to find one. So again, like I said, this is a little bit different than some of the other videos that I've done. This is not, as I said, a first edition of the book, but I thought I would do a little video of it since the book is very popular right now, and this particular copy is probably one of the more definitive copies that you would want to own of the book. Like I said, it's the first limited. Each of the copies have been signed. It's in a smaller print run. The book itself is just really lovely, and as I said, it was the first copy of the book to actually be printed to include all of that author's preferred text. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for checking it out. I've got another video that I'm going to be putting up here in the near future for a really awesome book, so hopefully you'll check that one out. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them below in the comments. All right, thanks for watching.